Amidst the fight coming up on the 25th, there appears to be a little bit of drama as Raps cast doubts over the upcoming super bantamweight fight between Stephen Fulton and Naoya Inoue. Let's talk about this a little bit and the fight itself once more. I had already given my breakdown on this upcoming fight, which I think still will be a heck of a battle between Stephen Fulton and Naoya Inoue. Fulton will enter this super bantamweight unified title match with a record of 21-0 with 8 KOs, and the monster is coming in with his stellar record of 24-0 with 21 KOs. Inoue is moving up from regular bantam to take on Cool Boy Steph for his titles. Now, we had seen Monster have success in his previous fights, and primarily he fights out of his home country. What's interesting is going into this bout, the Fulton camp has raised questions about how his hands are wrapped. In Japan, they have a different way of approaching this, and in the US, it's known as stacking wraps. There are sanctioning bodies and commissions sprinkled throughout the US that will allow the stacking of wraps according to as long as the bones in the hands are being secured in place with the wrapping and everything. But the fear from the Fulton camp has been that there's a question of whether or not, according to how they're doing it in Japan, maybe it may be giving an unfair advantage to Inoue, who has a lot of knockouts. And if anything is transpiring where it forms like a cast, it can make his hands more dangerous in a fight. Now, Fulton, who is an excellent outboxer, is entering this fight with his titles on the line. He decided to sacrifice by going over in Inoue's country and defend his titles. He is the type of fighter who has the type of skill set that you'd have to be pretty darn good to nail him down and get him in a position to get him up out of there. He boxes well with lateral movement. He's in and out. He throws pretty darn good combinations. He can fight on the inside. He can fight at mid-range, and he can box definitely from the outside. These are advantages that he would have whether he was fighting Inoue or anyone else. Just ask Brandon Figueroa, who lost a close but definite decision against Fulton, and he didn't like the fact that Fulton got the favor for being the boxer that he is. Now, when you switch over to looking at Monster Inoue, he has been able to overpower his opponents, but he has also boxed in a bed of comfort, being advantages of being at home and having things go his way, including the opponents being tailor-made to a certain degree. He's been able to overpower people. He's been able to gain the advantage of getting them out of there once he begins to land power shots. Typically, that is his MO. But with a fighter like Stephen Fulton, it may not be to his advantage. Inoue has also mentioned the fact that he's never fought or even sparred with a melanated fighter. And if he hasn't done those things, he may be looking for as many advantages as he could because he doesn't necessarily know what to expect. But I can tell you what he can expect. He can expect punishment on the inside coming from Stephen Fulton, a man who knows how to get his shots off, also at the same time by utilizing angles. See, boxing is a game of inches a lot of times, and when fighters can throw their punches from the zone which they are most effective, that's where those advantages can come to and come through. Now, Inoue is known as that power puncher, so once Stephen is able to gauge exactly where his punches are most dangerous, expect him to utilize the space and distance to not allow Inoue have those places within the fight. But the controversy about stacking wraps kind of goes hand in hand with other things, because footwork is going to be important in this fight, and Stephen has plenty of it. Remember when the fight was originally announced and they were talking about the dope testing, all of a sudden Inoue had exclaimed that he didn't like that. Well, being a former unified, and I think at one time undisputed champion himself, he should know what the rules are when it comes to dope testing. But he pulled out of this fight with an alleged injury and had it rescheduled for the date that we have presently, the 25th of July. Now, is there something to that? You could speculate all that you want, but his footwork in dancing around the doping and testing situation really raised eyebrows. So as they go into this fight, look for Stephen Fulton to utilize what he does best. The fact that he can throw combinations and punches from all angles. He can do what many other fighters in the division and at that particular arena of fighters, there are not a lot of athletic guys who have the talented skills that Fulton possesses, and that's where his strengths are. So Inoue can be able to punch as much as he wants, but if he's whiffing, if he's missing, if they're not landing, the hand wrap situation will not be a factor. He's fighting out of his own comfort zone by taking this fight in Japan. You can always expect obstacles. You can expect for them to not make you comfortable, and they're gonna be against you because you're not the countryman, and Inoue is. So this is really much to do about nothing, because at the end of the day, when you travel and you face someone in their own backyard, they look for advantages. And with the Inoue camp, with the Japanese fighters and the Japanese commission, they will stack the deck as much as they can possibly do humanly. And it'll be up to the Fulton camp to solve those issues. And I am of the stellar firm belief that he can do that, but he has to remain focused and not worry about external circumstances that he can't control. But what he can control is his abilities within that square arena. And I think that as long as he sticks to his disciplines, hit, not get hit, exhibit the sweet science, don't look to engage in a war, but be tactical, strategical, and you will find success. That's a hard order, but it can be done. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about this fight, and who do you have? And is Inoue actually someone that's flying under the radar of questionability? Let's speak on it. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.